Nigeria's former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu was on Saturday physically attacked by a mob while attending a cultural event in Germany. Mr. Ekweremadu, who confirmed the attack in a statement, said the attackers were members of the indigenous people of Biafra, a Southeast secessionist group. In the video, which was widely circulated online, the mob attacked Mr. Ekweremadu as he attempted to enter the venue of the event in Nuremberg, Germany. In the 1-minute video, the mob chanted, "Go back," while trying to deny Mr. Ekweremadu entry. The lawmaker had initially retreated but later turned back towards the entrance of the venue. In reaction, the men furiously dragged Mr. Ekweremadu out of the venue, ripping his cloth. The attack has drawn condemnation from the chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, labeling it as an embarrassment to the nation. She urged Nigerians to be of good behavior everywhere and called on the German authorities to ensure that there are consequences for those responsible for the attack. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, has asked the German authorities to identify those that attacked Senator Ike Ekweremadu at an event in Nuremberg, Germany. Lawal, in a statement by his special advisor on media, Ola Awoniyi, condemned the shameful attack on the former Senate President. He explained that Senator Ekweremadu was to give a keynote address at the second Igbo Annual Cultural Festival and Convention organized by Ndi Igbo Germany in that city when a mob, which allegedly identified itself as members of indigenous people of Biafra, invaded the venue and attacked Mr. Ekweremadu, who, according to the statement, has in his political career consistently identified with and defended the cause of his people. Mr. Lawan called on the German authorities to again identify those involved in the despicable act so that the law can take its course against them. He urges Nigerians to always reflect deeply and broadly before embarking on a course of action and advised the youth to ventilate whatever grievances they have along lines prescribed by the law and recommended by reason and democratic ethos. The Senate President appealed to Senator Ekweremadu not to be deterred by the incident from his path of service to his people and Nigerians in general, but to take it as part of the sacrifice of leadership. Still on the matter, the Southeast Governors Forum on Saturday said the IPOB order directing its members to attack them anywhere abroad would not solve the problem of their agitation for Biafra. The chairman of the forum, Governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, who spoke through his chief press secretary, Mr. Imauzo, said that the governors had no problem with the members of the outlawed group to warrant such an order, adding that the insecurity in the Southeast was a nationwide challenge which was squarely under the federal government's command and control. Condemning the attack on Ekweremadu, Umahi said, if there is any issue IPOB holds against the governors, they should come home to settle it in Igbo land instead of on a foreign land. The Governors Forum warned the members of the proscribed body not to allow political opportunists to use them to destroy the Southeast. Furthermore, Umahi's aide described the IPOB's threats as empty, saying the group lacked the powers to track down any Southeast governor anywhere in the world. And still with me is Malachy Ugummadu, who is a legal practitioner and, like we said earlier, National President of Committee for the Defense of Human Rights.
Correct.
Yet another big one there, Ike Ekweremadu and the attack. So our first question would be, those who attacked Ike Ekweremadu were heard to be saying that as a former Senate President, he should not be in Germany celebrating. Rather, he should be at home sorting the issues that is plaguing the country, one of which was insecurity. So do you think this justified their action?
Well, first is to clearly characterize the body that is alleged to have perpetrated this attack, and that is IPOB. IPOB at the moment and in Nigeria is proscribed. Why were they proscribed? They have begun to cross the boundaries
so
and then, started conducting themselves in a manner that can endanger the security of the country. So if that is a character of that group, you will not expect a very courteous behavior to state actors who probably are identified as part of the problem. So it didn't come very much as a surprise, but that does not detract from the very wrong approach that has now been adopted. As it were, those people will now be isolated without, even if they may have some valid grievances, they will be isolated and dealt with according to the law. And that precisely is coming from even the government of Nigeria, from the Senate President, from the chairperson on diaspora affairs, and so on and so forth. My take is this. It is not sufficient for the body of governors in the Southeast to simply trivialize what has happened and then return the threat, in which case they are not behaving above what those people are doing, and saying that they don't have capacity to practicalize their threat. That's not the way to go. In my view, there is a need to be a bit introspective with respect to what has just happened. First is that Ekweremadu has the right to move to anywhere and everywhere he intends to. That is precisely what Section 40 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, stipulates. Indeed, it is a fundamental right contained under the fundamental provisions of the Constitution. However, that same Ekweremadu has been a member of the National Assembly since 1999. So this is precisely 20 years of his activities as a parliamentarian in this country. In my view, these people who have been complaining about the inequalities and insecurity and the problems in Nigeria sees him as the embodiment of the Nigerian politicians. And that for these 20 years, they have not been able to do anything concrete to bring about peace and progress in the country. And therefore, rather than keeping quiet and complaining, which is the verbal attack that we've always had in this country without results, the people with the orientation that they have decided to physically engage Ekweremadu.
And make a statement.
And the point they make is that, wait a minute, we're all Igbos. You people have refused to solve the problem of Nigeria. And that place has become completely impervious to change. And you cannot even celebrate common cultural activities like Ewaji, that is the New Yam Festival. And that the gods in Germany do not understand the kola nut that you are breaking there or the yam that you are eating there. In which case you ought to make Nigeria and the Southeast livable and then be able to practice our tradition and influence the society. But
they are also saying, the Southeast Forum, Governors Forum rather, are saying that if you have any issues, instead of, washing our dirty linen outside, as they say, why don't you come home and then resolve it amicably or however way, but come home and resolve it? That is very protectionist, in the sense that they know clearly that they are part of this political class that has now been identified and represented by Ike Ekweremadu. So what they say does not quite sit with these people who are determined to show resentment in practical terms. Is it correct to have better stones or drag them? Certainly not the best of approach. But whether you like it or not, you hardly can do anything to a man who has now come to his wit's end. Do not forget, this same organization has been proscribed. If it has been proscribed, water will always seek its level. And the only mistake, in my view, is that there would have been by far more important, strategic, creative ways of engaging this man and making the same point. Imagine, for instance, if they managed to allow the program to start
And having gained access to the premises of these people, move into the podium, as it were, seek audience, and speak directly to those issues. That, in my view, would have become a very, very effective way of communicating rather than resorting to...
Now, let's move to the German authorities, so to speak. What are your thoughts on their seeming silence? We've not heard anything from them, about this. It's close to 24 hours, and there's been nothing said.
Now, watching the video, because I did watch the video, I clearly understood that the organizers of the program, as expected, put a call, invited the police. The police arrived. I saw a preponderance of women, smart-looking police officers. But it seemed to me that what they sought to achieve was just to control the situation and ensure that there was no breakdown of law and order. And that is all. Now, Germany is not just one of the leading powers in the world. It is reputed to be a civilized nation that is guided and governed by laws. In Nigeria, you can easily be charged for offenses of attempting to cause a breach of public peace and order. And if you take a look at the vicinity where that happened, that was at the heart of a major city in Germany. So clearly, it is expected that the German government would have risen up to the occasion, particularly now that the country, the affected country itself, is calling on them
to do something, to respond at least.
To respond to this situation.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Ugummadu, for coming and sharing those powerful thoughts there.